Peterson.
Pat, you said that this came out of left field, having the opportunity to come to Pittsburgh. How surprised were you, and how did this even work out?
You know, my agent gave me a call, I believe it was Tuesday, and, you know, just basically saying, I believe we got a good opportunity for you, a place that I think you'll be happy, a great organization, and he's just telling me all of these things, not giving me, you know, the full information just yet. He just told me, like, you know, I think this will be the spot for it. I'm like, all right, get it out already. He was like, you know, I have a really good relationship with Omar and the Pittsburgh Steelers. You know, I think if you want to take this deal, you know, I think you'll be very, very happy with it. And I was like, you know, I always wanted to have an opportunity to play with Coach Tomlin. Always admired just the way his team are always prepared, you know, no matter what the circumstances are, no matter who it is at quarterback, you know, starting 2-6 or whatever the case was last year, and ending the season off on a winning note, you know. So to be a part of something like this on the latter part of my career, this is something that I saw for myself.
You and your cousin Brian McFadden had Coach Tomlin on your podcast a few years ago, and he said he's known of you since high school. Do you remember your first interaction with him? I don't
remember the first interaction, but I do remember seeing him when I was in high school, because I used to train with Brian, you know, Will Gay, Ike, Larry, all those guys all the time in Orlando with Tom Shaw, you know, so that was kind of like the Pittsburgh hub, you know, in the offseason. All of those guys came down to Orlando and, you know, got their offseason work in. So I do remember, you know, having interactions with Coach, but not like in detailed conversation.
Did you have any of those at your pro day at LSU?
Oh yeah, then that's when it started coming a little bit more full circle, because now, at the time when I was in high school, I'm still trying to get to college, you know. So now I'm in college and now going into the league. I was like, yeah, man, now, you know, this might be real. You know, I may have an opportunity, you know, to play, you know, for the Pittsburgh Steelers, because I saw my cousin get drafted by him. I was at the house when he got drafted. Saw him win his first Super Bowl as a rookie and go on and win another one in year 4 or 5 or whatever that was. So always, you know, was a fan of Pittsburgh from afar, because, you know, I had family that bled the black and yellow.
It's a fine line between, you know, drinking wine and squashing grapes.
This is a grow up moment right here for you young studs. Let's live.
Standard is the standard.
The nameless great faces that we play are irrelevant.
I ain't blinking, don't you blink.
Do you have a favorite Tomlinism? I'm sure you've heard of a bunch.
Man, yeah, I have heard a bunch of them, but my favorite one, it's a big game because we're in it. I like that
one. In terms of you, have you talked to the coaching staff about how they plan to use you in this defense?
Not yet, you know, but I do know that I am around a great defensive staff. Coach Grady Brown is one of my former defensive back coach in LSU, so we go way back. So this is going to be a pretty cool reunion to have an opportunity to share the room with him again. But, you know, those discussions haven't came up just yet. I'm sure, you know, Coach Tomlin and TA have plans for me, so we'll just have to wait and see what happens.
In terms of what you bring to the table, how do you describe your style of play?
You know, my style of play, I'm a guy that gets the job done, you know, so, you know, I can play whatever style of defense that's required. You know, if it is for me to go out, you know, and play man-to-man, if it is go out there and play a little zone coverage, it may be responsibilities may, you know, change for me throughout the week, you know, throughout the course of a game, you know, so I'm prepared for that. I'm a very, you know, intelligent, smart football player that have a lot of games up under my belt, you know. So I want to be utilized in a way so I can help the team prevail and be as successful as the coaching staff see us being.
You had a successful season personally in Minnesota last year. What's the key to the longevity that you've had in this league?
Honestly, just, you know, preparing and training your body in the off season. You know, just understanding what you're going to need and what you're going to use throughout a football season. You know, because I don't want to be going out and using wasted movement if it's not going to help me in a football game. You know, because at the end of the day, that's what I'm training for. I'm training for a football game and a football season. You know, so everything that I train on is meaningful. You know, if it's the cardio, if it's the weights, you know, if it's training the mind, because mentally you have to be mentally strong and tough as well to endure. You know, not only the season, but you know, the ups and downs, the ebbs and flows that go through a season. So it's just not training the body, it's training the mind as well, because that's the most powerful and strongest muscle that's in your body.
All right, thanks so much for your time. Appreciate it.
And thanks for having me.